Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Weather with Sim again. I hope you guys are all having a great Friday so far, and as well as a great start to your weekend. And today is January 31st, which we are only one day away from February 2025. And in today's forecast, we're going to be talking about another large storm that's going to be coming to the United States as we get into the very end of next week. And this is going to be bringing a lot of impacts. Not only will we be seeing the potential for more severe weather once again, but we'll also be tracking a potential winter storm on the northern side of that system, which, even though we could still be seeing an early spring, especially the higher elevations out there to the west, still typically get snowfall during the spring, especially when we see those cold shots of air roll on through. So we will need to be watching this next storm very closely, as it does look to be more in the way of a significant one, as it does look to bring some pretty big impacts. And then we will be talking about a few other things after that. Those things are just going to remain uncertain as they are far out, but we will be going over all that. But if you are new here to the YouTube channel, or if you haven't subscribed already, make sure to go down below and click that subscribe button, as we upload every day on this channel. And it's also good to check back often for updates, as we will sometimes do more than one video per day. And I apologize for not being able to go live yesterday, even though I thought I could. I had a very busy schedule yesterday, so I wasn't even sure if I could go live. But next time I will definitely try to go live whenever there is a storm. So consider clicking that notification bell, so that way you guys don't miss out on any future videos or live streams that we do on this channel, and I definitely appreciate it. But let's first start off by going over the satellite imagery that you see right there. And the reason why we're showing you guys this is to tell you guys that if we look at this satellite imagery all the way back to, from Thursday afternoon, that rain was starting to push on into the Ohio Valley, Midwest, and as well as the deep south. And that rainfall continued to push on through with more heavy downpours, and we even continue to see those even as we get into even as we got into Friday morning, which is what it is right now. And most of that is already out of right now, but we still got some lingering downpours and even some lingering showers across much of the eastern United States right now. So we will continue to watch it, but most of that shouldn't bring any significant impacts as we get into the next few days, as it's not as strong as what it was. But we will watch it closely, though, as it is going to be another storm to definitely keep an eye on very closely. Now, let's go ahead and talk about this next storm system that we're going to see, because once again, we got that storm still continuing to bring some rain to the eastern United States. Most of that should then head out of here as we get into the weekend, and then we'll start to see some rain start to pick up with this model. And I think the most interesting part with this storm, as we get into the end of next week, which will be about 6 days from now, we could be seeing the potential for a winter storm on the northern side of that system, with sleet, freezing rain, and also heavy snow. While on the southern side of that system, we're going to have a bunch of showers and thunderstorms ongoing on the southern side of that system, which I do want to show you guys that we're actually going to have some pretty big amounts of energy surging on in from the Gulf of Mexico as we get into the end of next week. And this is one of the reasons why our chances for thunderstorms are going to be growing during that time. And not only will we be seeing that energy, but if we look at that moisture, we're actually going to be seeing a ton of moisture surge on in from the Gulf of Mexico, which will likely be surging as far north as the Lower Ohio Valley, with 60-degree dew points even as far north as Indianapolis and Columbus, Ohio. So definitely going to be an interesting setup there, as we're going to have a lot more moisture try to surge on in this time. And not only that, I think we'll also be seeing quite a bit of wind in the atmosphere. If we first take a look at the lower levels, we are going to be seeing some pretty strong winds across the lower levels of the atmosphere, which could definitely indicate some chances for tornadoes across this area, because once again, when we looked at the energy, we had plenty of energy to work with, as a pretty good portion of those areas saw about 500 joules per kilogram, and with the wind that we're looking at right now, pretty strong, as we got about 50 mile per hour winds, maybe even as high as 100 mile per hour winds in some of these areas. And not only that, once again, we also had a lot of that moisture as well, which all those ingredients really does bring the potential for some pretty big time storms. So now is a good time to at least be paying attention to the storm system, as we are only heading about 6 days out from now, and this is also something that could really bring a lot of impact. So we definitely need you guys to be on high alert out there, as this is looking to be one of our impactful storms potentially. So we will watch it very closely for you guys, including the winter storm on the northern side of that system as that rolls on through at the end of next week. After that, and as we get into the week after, which will be over a week from now, we might be seeing another winter storm similar to that, which, even though it does show that it could bring some heavier rain, there's not going to be as much energy with that system. And if we do get anything from that system, it will more than likely stay down to the south, as that's really the only area that could be experiencing those chances for severe weather. But we will still keep an eye on it closely, as it is definitely looking to be a similar storm for at least where the precipitation is occurring, like the northern part of that storm. Just like we were talking about the other one, we could be seeing some freezing rain and also heavy snow, while on the southern side of that system, we'll more than likely just see heavy rain with this, but we could still be seeing severe weather down there in the deep south. So we will definitely continue to watch it closely, and then maybe another one after that, but way too far out to really tell, even though the models are kind of showing maybe a winter storm bow ongoing, as we see winter storm after winter storm. But I don't think we're going to see anything like that, as we are actually getting closer to spring nowadays. But we will keep an eye on it very closely, though, as I do think another winter storm or two could still develop. And once again, even though we could be seeing an early spring this year, winter is not completely over, so we still need you guys to be ready, as more big time winter storms are still on the table. And if we look at how much snow you could see, this is the probability of 1 inch or greater. So if you're shaded in this dark red color, which includes much of the northern United States, and as well as up there toward Canada, you're talking a 90 to 100% chance of seeing around 1 inch of snowfall or greater from now all the way to February 8th, which will be at the very end of next week. And then as we get into the week after, we then start to maybe see some snow get a little farther down south, but it's once again mainly going to be those areas farther to the north that really pick up the most snow. So we will need to watch it very closely over the next week, as I do think we could still be seeing some more winter storms, and it looks like most of them are mainly going to be staying north instead of trending south like what we saw earlier in our January. Now, let's talk about the Climate Prediction Center outlook now. And with the Climate Prediction Center outlook, starting off with our temperatures, if we start off by looking at the 6 to 10 day outlook, we are expected to continue to trend above normal as we get into the first 2 weeks of our February, as anywhere from the I-95 corridor all the way back over there into the Four Corners region will likely be trending pretty good, above average. So we will need to be watching for that closely. And then by the time we take this a little later into February, we still could be seeing those above normal temperatures continue farther down south. It's just that this cold air is really going to try to mash on in here. And even though that may happen, I don't think we're going to be seeing a winter storm for these areas south of this line. I think most areas south of this line, here, let me draw that a little bit better. I think areas south of this line will be in the clear for snowfall, even though we will definitely see that cold air start to push a little bit farther down to the south. And I'm also going to be honest with you guys, our average highs have also been growing too as well, meaning that our temperatures have been going up. So even if we did even if we did cool down quite a bit, it would actually be a little bit tricky to get a lot of snowfall because we would have to be well below average, especially for these areas down there in the lower Ohio Valley points southward. So we will need to be watching for that very closely. But once again, most of that snowfall is going to mainly be staying north. So definitely pretty interesting to say the least right there, and we will definitely keep you guys up to date with the latest. And same with precipitation, as we'll likely be trending above normal across the northwest and as well as the Ohio Valley, and same as we even look a little far out into the February, as we will likely be trending even more well above normal over here in the Ohio Valley. So we will need to watch it closely, as it does look like we're going to have winter storm after winter storm across the northern United States, with I guess you could call it a normal storm after normal storm down here in the Ohio Valley points southward, where severe weather and also some flooding issues could develop, as we will be tracking that next storm at the end of next week. But thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed today's forecast. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, as we will continue to keep you guys up to date with the latest from that winter storm, and we will be really taking a full-blown view at that storm as we get a little closer. We didn't look at the rainfall totals or the snowfall totals because it's still far out enough to where things are still expected to change quite a bit. So we will watch it closely. It's just that we are still hanging a little far out, but as we do get closer, like I said, we will definitely keep you guys up to date with the latest. And so consider subscribing so that way you guys don't miss out on that. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and also make sure to share this with any friends, family, or anyone who you know on social media. Make sure to do that, and that would be much appreciated. And I hope you guys all have a great rest of your Friday, and as well as a great start to your weekend, and we will see you in the next one. Thank you all so much for watching, and goodbye.